Hey everyone, thank you so much for being here today. My name is Denise. I'm also known as heywigsister on Instagram and Facebook. Today I am here to do a wig chat with you. I'm here to talk about something that I broached on my community page on my YouTube channel. And about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks ago, I posted about the topic of addiction when it comes to wigs. And I think that post got something like 64 comments so far. It really generated some discussion, and I got a lot of feedback that this would be a helpful topic to broach in a video. So that's what I'm here today to do. So if you'd like to hear a little bit more about this topic of addiction when it comes to wig buying, then stick around and we'll just chat a little bit about it today. All right, so before we get started, you're probably wondering where the heck I am. You've never seen me film in this location. Well, you have, but the camera is usually facing that direction. So we're actually in my sort of spare bedroom slash office slash wig room right now. As many of you know, I moved this past summer and we downsized quite a bit in the house. And I have one room now that serves as a spare bedroom for my son when he comes back from college over the holidays, and then my office, which we're sitting at my desk right now. There's my computer and there are my notes for this topic that we're going to be discussing. And then if you looked that way in the room is that big blank wall that I often have behind me in my wig reviews. And so that's where we are. And it's actually 11:16 p.m. on a Tuesday night. I am doing this while my whole family is in bed. I just have not been able to find the time to do this video, and ever since I posted it on the community page of my YouTube channel, and I think it got something like 64 comments so far, I realized this is definitely a topic worth doing a video on. And so if, you know, for those of you who maybe you don't consider yourself to be addicted to purchasing wigs, but you maybe purchase more than you think you should, or you do find yourself going in phases where suddenly you buy a whole bunch of wigs and you think, oh my gosh, what am I doing? And you manage to rein yourself back in, but you probably then understand what a challenge it can be for some people. And I did a video on this topic about 2 years ago now, when I found myself in the throes of a full-blown wig buying addiction. And it was very serious, and I had to take drastic measures to rein myself in because I just could not stop myself from purchasing wigs. And when I did that video, people will still find that video out there and respond that they absolutely needed to see that. So I know this is a topic that will speak to many of you. So maybe for those of you who haven't seen that video, I can just kind of recap what I was going through at the time, and then I'll share some of the tips I have for you now if you're struggling. So when this was going on, I mean, it pretty much started right from the very beginning when I first started buying wigs. I just could not stop myself. I would buy wig after wig. I mean, it got to the point where I could very easily get 3 wigs delivered in one day, and that might happen 3 times that week. I was getting a lot of wigs. I was buying wigs that I had no business buying, spending money that I had no business spending money on. And at one point, I had to cancel all but one of our credit cards and my PayPal credit account because I was abusing that specifically. Because if you're familiar with PayPal credit, and I'm not trying to give you any ideas, but they have a program where if you spend more than $100, you get 6 months no interest financing on that purchase. And so what would happen is I'd see a wig, let's say it was on sale for $150. I would think, oh, I can easily pay that off in 6 months, no problem. Well, before I knew it, I had thousands of dollars on that PayPal credit account, and I was having to manage the expiration date of all these purchases to make sure that I got them paid off before the 6 months so that I didn't have to pay interest. It was crazy. And for context, we don't carry credit card debt. My husband and I, in our younger years, were not terribly smart with money. and made a lot of mistakes with money. And so at this stage of our lives, we've learned from those mistakes, and we do not charge things that we cannot afford. And so the fact that I was charging wigs and putting them on credit tells you how serious if it wasn't an addiction, it certainly was a compulsion, how serious that had become, because I wouldn't have done that for anything else. So I ended up canceling all but one credit card for emergencies and my PayPal credit account. Luckily, we were able to get that paid off right away, all that I owed, and I never went back. And even to this day, though, I can find myself having that whole FOMO thing where, I think it's maybe that's not the right term. It's the fear of missing out. Yeah, FOMO, fear of missing out. And you'll see a brand new style come out or a brand new color, and all you can do is think about that. And it's just been a real challenge. Speaking of wigs, I forgot to tell you what I have on my head. So I'm going to do that because I know many of you are wondering right now, and I will put it in the description. But what I'm wearing actually is John Renault Sarah in the color 433, which I think is Raspberry Twist. This was actually a gift to me from a wig sister. I'll show her to you. She sent me, oops, I just kicked my camera. She sent me a number of wigs actually as a gift, as a thank you for the videos and for all of the help that I provide. And they were all kind of gently or very more than gently used. And she had cut bangs in most of them. This is a Sarah that has had bangs cut into it. The curls are very kind of relaxed and a little frizzy because she clearly loved this one and wore it a lot. And I have taken this one as an education wig for myself so that I can practice doing some things on it and bring it to you guys for education. So basically she said I could do whatever I wanted with the wigs that she sent. A few of them are going to wind up being, I've actually already given 2 of them away to wig sisters in need, but I'm going to be doing education and teaching, and so that's what I have on my head. So this is a much loved Sarah that really at this point I only wear either in an updo like this or with a hat. She's a great hat wig because she is fully hand tied. So that's what I have on. And so yes, you can put bangs in Sarah, full bangs. Anyway, let me get back to the topic at hand. So I have some notes here. I'm going to try to keep myself on track. So that was sort of my first kind of experience with wig buying addiction, that it's a real thing and something that a lot of people struggle with. I think part of it is the emotions that we go through when we discover wigs. For those of us who have suffered from hair loss, and whether it's been long time hair loss or sudden hair loss, when you find something that could potentially help you with that, it can be really hard. That emotional connection to wigs is something that we shouldn't underestimate. And the fact that there's so much information out there about wigs and so many pictures and so many videos, it can make controlling yourself a little difficult. So I have some ideas for you. I'm just going to share some of my own thoughts, some of the things that have worked for me, and I will share some of the things others have suggested. I do encourage you to go to that post on my community page, though, to read through the comments, because there's some great suggestions in the comments, and I can't include them all in this video. If you have never been to my community page, all you have to do is click on my name underneath this video, and it will take you to my main YouTube channel. At the top of that, you'll see a bunch of kind of categories. One of them is called playlists, where I've created a whole bunch of playlists so that you can easily find different, maybe a video by a certain manufacturer. And in that same line, you will see something that says community. That's a place where I can actually do text posts and share pictures. So I'll do that sometimes on the community page. If you don't see that, you might be on a device where that's not supported. I have been told by people that they can't find my community page on iPads. So if you're on an iPad, you might have to go on a computer, on a laptop, possibly on an Android device, and then you should be able to find the community page. And then scroll through a couple of posts, because I've posted since then, to find the one that's titled Addiction. You can't miss it. There's a really big picture. So the first thing I want to talk about is, okay, let's say you're in the throes of full-blown, out-of-control wig buying, and you feel like you need to rein it in and you need to get control of yourself. The first thing that I would tell you is stop all buying until you have documented and inventoried every single wig that you currently own. Use a spreadsheet, use a notepad, use Word or a Word type document. Whatever works for you, wherever your comfort level is, create a way to inventory all of your wigs. And include in that the name of the wig, the manufacturer, the name, the measurements, the price that you paid if you can find it. There is nothing like confronting yourself with how much money you've spent on these wigs. And then I think you should include a notes section where you kind of put your thoughts on the wig. What do you like about it? What don't you like about it? And do that for every wig that you own. I encourage you to actually do that with every wig you purchase, even ones that you return or sell, because you're going to want to come back to this document in the future to help you make buying decisions. And that is going to be my second tip, is that every purchase you make going forward, you will measure it against this document. Because one of the mistakes that I made the most in the beginning was constantly purchasing wigs that were just like other wigs that I didn't like. I'll never forget, I had never tried a short wig before. Short meaning like kind of boy cut short. And I'd seen some videos of people looking so cute in those super short wigs. And so I thought, oh, maybe I'll buy one and try it. Well, I think it happened to be around this time of year when there were tons of sales, Black Friday sales, end of year clearance sales, all of that. And so I made my first purchase, and before that had even arrived at my house, I wound up buying 4 others. They were all on clearance, they were all super discounted, so I kind of justified it. The problem was I didn't like short wigs on me at all at that point. I could not wear them at all. So now I had 5 short wigs that I couldn't wear. If I would have just waited till I got the first one, then I would have saved myself all those other purchases, because I would have known after that first one that short wigs at the time were not for me. And so I really am serious when I say you should be inventorying all of your wigs, and then you need to measure every purchase against that documentation, because it will help you avoid duplicate bad purchases, so that you if you look back, let's say you see a wig you really want to purchase and you go back and you look at your inventory and you find another wig that has very similar measurements and your notes say too short, then you know you shouldn't buy this one, because why would this one be any different if the measurements are virtually the same? So that's my first tip. And I know this may be a lot of work for you. It might be tedious. Maybe you're not super good with a computer, and so you're going to have to do it on with pen and paper. But if you are serious about getting control of your purchasing and you really, really need that help, there is not anything else that you could do right now that's going to help you more than this. Not only will it help you get an indisputable visual of what you have going on with your current stash, but it's going to help you long into the future make better purchases. So it is well worth your time to do this. And if you already have something like this and you're still struggling, then be honest with yourself. Are you even utilizing this? Do you ever look back at it to help you make informed decisions, or is it sort of out of sight, out of mind? I truly believe if you have things documented and you use the document, this is going to help you more than you can ever imagine in avoiding some purchases. Also include color. I think color is something else that we should be tracking. You know, if you find colors that you really love, then you can compare colors in other manufacturers, or you can avoid making, duplicate bad color purchases as well. So that's my biggest tip for you, The thing I think you're going to get the most bang for your buck with. And then once you have everything documented, then it is time to decide what are you going to keep and what are you going to sell or donate. And so you're going to go through every single wig and you're going to say, is this one that I've ever worn or have I never worn it? If you have never worn it, then I think you have to get very, very tough with yourself and decide, am I ever going to wear this? Am I willing to work with it? Use some of the Tip Tuesdays that Denise Sheets does or others out there making tip videos, and am I going to try to make it my own or not? If your financial situation allows you to hang on to wigs that you're not wearing, that is perfectly fine. I will tell you that there are wigs that I gave up early on that I absolutely love now. And so our tastes do change over time. Our comfort level with wigs completely changes over time. So I am kind of a fan of hanging on to some wigs and seeing if you grow into them. If your financial situation can allow that, definitely do it. But then just make sure you don't buy any other wigs like that one until you've resolved your issue with it, one way or the other. If, on the other hand, you are going to be deciding to sell or donate some wigs, I do have a resource on my website, which is heywigsister.com, and there is a post that's at the very top. There's something called resources, and if you click on that, you'll find a post that I think I've titled Trustworthy Places to Buy Wigs, something like that. The word trustworthy is in the title, and I have a whole lot of places listed. There's a whole section on there titled Secondary Market, and that's not only a great place to make purchases, but those are great places to sell your wigs. So if you're looking for places to sell, go to that post. You'll find a whole bunch of ideas for where to sell your wigs. Facebook is a great place to sell wigs. There's a number of selling groups. If you don't have a Facebook account currently, maybe consider getting one just so that you could sell some wigs for a little bit, and that could be a great kind of an excuse to get yourself a Facebook account just for a little while. So you're going to decide whether to keep or sell. And if you do decide to sell, just make sure everything is documented so that you don't purchase another wig like that. At least not right now. Your taste may change someday. Some other ideas that I put down based on my own experience as well as what others have shared. Number one, can you trade with someone? I actually just did a trade with a wig sister. I've actually in the last month done 2 trades with wig sisters who just reached out to me randomly and had a wig that they thought they knew I loved, or a wig that they've never seen me review and a color they've never seen me review. And they wondered if I might have something to trade because it wasn't working for them. And so I happened to be able to get one wig that I absolutely love and the other that I don't really love, but I'm going to review it and then I'm going to sell it. And that is a great suggestion. So if you're, in a group like on Facebook where you're able to maybe do some trades, I highly recommend checking into that. That can sometimes be easier to do than selling a wig. And you can always reach out to me. My only issue is that I can get so many messages. So I hope you will never be offended if I don't get back to you right away. I mean, it just depends on what's going on. If I just put out a video that was super popular, then I'm going to get inundated with comments and messages, and it may take me a while to get through them, and some of them may get missed. So I'm not your best bet for that, but you can certainly try to reach out to me, and if the timing hits me just right, you never know. So trading. I have 2 groups on Facebook that I highly recommend for this, and I will link them in the description. Hopefully I'll remember, but if I don't, maybe one of you will remind me in the comments. One is called Sister to Sister, Blessed with Hair to Share, and one is called Flaunt your wig, or flaunt that wig, something like that. I'll have to look it up. I just know flaunt is in the title, and they're both fantastic groups. They're donation groups, so there's a way to get free hair, but they also, Sister to Sister allows you to just do trades, and I think flaunt allows you to do trades and sell. So trading. really, really good way to try something. Let's say you do try to sell a wig and it's not selling, maybe try to do a trade and see if that will work better. Another suggestion is maybe you need to get tough enough with yourself to say, I cannot buy a wig until I've sold a wig. And so some of this is on your honor. You know, if you're really struggling, you may have to get tougher than somebody who is just kind of moderately struggling. So if you're able to say to yourself, I cannot buy another wig until I've sold a wig, one in, one out, until maybe you hit a certain level, then that is a great suggestion. I'll tell you guys, that did not work for me. I tried to tell myself that I was going to do that, and I didn't stick with it. So some of you are going to be better at that than I was. So it is definitely something to consider, but recognize that you know, not all of these will work for everybody. Another suggestion is to create a fund in your PayPal account. So if you're going to be selling some wigs and accepting PayPal as payment, then maybe any money you make selling wigs is earmarked toward new purchases. So instead of putting it in your bank account and trying to remember, how, you know, oh yeah, I sold a wig recently, so I can use that money to buy a wig, but it's already kind of in your bank account. And I would just suggest keeping a fund. Maybe if you have a lot of wigs to sell, maybe you don't save all of that money, but it is a great strategy to say, I will not buy a wig until I have enough money in my PayPal account. So whether that mean you just set aside a little bit of money every month in that account, or you save money from selling wigs or other things, if you've got another thing that, you know, maybe you sell used clothing or something else, but pre-fund for your purchases. That is something that I highly recommend doing. And remind yourself that there will always be another sale. I think this time of year especially is super hard because there are so many sales. I mean, around Black Friday, it's crazy. I mean, everybody's got huge sales. And you'll see that a little bit now through Christmas. And I just want to encourage you to remember there will always be another sale. And so if you miss this one, it's not the last sale you're ever going to get a chance to participate in. So just keep telling yourself that. I saw a wig sister put a really great suggestion out there that she never makes impulse buys anymore. So if she's out there browsing around and looking at wigs, and she suddenly finds herself with one or two in her cart, she does not allow herself to check out and make that purchase until the next day or 24 hours later. Give yourself some time to sit with the idea of that wig and have that sort of settle in and see if in 24 hours you're still interested. I know for me, a lot of the time that's all it takes to talk me off the ledge. Not always, but a lot of the time, because a lot of it is impulse buys. And so unless you went out for a specific wig and a specific color because, you know, you're replacing something or you need something, if it's just more of a, I'm browsing and I found this, I encourage you to try that 24-hour moratorium. You're not allowed to make any purchases the same day you put it in your cart, and see if that will work for you. Another suggestion I have for you is do not buy on the secondary market or clearance unless you are prepared to work with wigs and modify them to work for you, because those are non-returnable. So if you buy from a wig sister or if you buy on clearance, you're stuck with it. So you're either going to have to resell it or you're going to have to make it work. It is one of the reasons I am doing so many Tip Tuesday videos and the new wig wearers series and new videos, because I really want to encourage you to be a participant in your wig wearing journey. You are not just, you don't have to just get perfect wigs that are perfect out of the box. Sometimes we do have to work with our wigs. We have to take some heat to them. We have to take some thinning shears to them. We have to learn how to style them. And so unless you're prepared to do that, please try to avoid those purchases that you cannot return. Not always, but I think we can get ourselves into a lot of trouble with a whole bunch of wigs and you're too afraid to do anything to it, to pluck the part or to, you know, thin it out a little bit. And so don't get a stockpile of wigs that need work until you start getting comfortable. Maybe take one of your wigs and decide, this is my practice wig. Maybe it's one that you don't think has much resale value. Some wigs, basic cap wigs, maybe wigs that aren't super popular, or in an odd color, and they don't have high resale value. Maybe it's your practice wig and you just chalk up the money you spent on that toward your wig education. That's what I had to do to justify some of my expenses. I also think that it might be time to take a break from videos and cancel all of your, if you get email, if you're subscribed to retailers' websites so that you get emailed whenever they have a sale, you might have to cancel those subscriptions for a little while and not watch reviews, because it's all too tempting. And if you're out there getting those emails every day from various sellers about the next 30% off sale or the clearance or whatever, if you're already struggling, that's just too much temptation. And I would say the same about watching reviews. If you are struggling and you have too many wigs and you're having a hard time stopping yourself from making purchases, then I don't think it's a good idea for you to be watching any more reviews right now. Now, you can still watch videos. There are tip videos out there, and maybe that you just limit yourself to the tip videos. So watch my Tip Tuesdays. Others have tip videos out there, styling videos. Just don't watch the reviews, because it's going to make you want the wig. Let's be honest. All of us just want beautiful hair. And when we see someone who looks beautiful in hair, we want that hair. And so I would say watch some of the Tip Tuesdays or other, like I said, I'm not just here to promote myself. There's other great videos out there that are going to teach you how to make the best use of the wigs that you already own. And that will empower you and help you to, again, wear what you have and not want what you don't. I already covered the impulsive. I think that's pretty much my list. So kind of to sum up, I think there are some strategies out there. What works for one isn't going to work for everybody, so you might have to try some different ones. But at the end of the day, you're not alone. And don't be down on yourself. Don't think, I'll just say this. Sometimes when we are engaging in behavior that we're not proud of, the shame that we feel from that can cause us to actually ante up with that behavior. We become worse about it because we're trying to self-medicate the terrible feelings that we have about ourselves. I mean, let's face it, there is something about hair mail that gets the best of a lot of us, just the excitement of getting the wig, and it's like almost like a drug. I'm sure it feeds like the opioid, that's not the right word, those receptors in us that create the feel-good hormones. I'm pretty sure that that's what hair mail and buying new wigs and getting new hair, I'm sure it feeds that. So the first thing you need to do is recognize that you're not faulty or defective, or this is not something to be ashamed of. There's a very good reason why you are doing what you're doing right now, and you may have suffered through devastation with your hair loss, and now this hair that I have on right now feels so natural to me. I absolutely love this because I feel like I'm not wearing a wig, and it gives me kind of a shot of that feel-good hormone when I wear a wig that makes me feel this way. And it makes me want to get another and another. And I just have to keep reminding myself, I don't need another. This is perfect the way it is. And I'm going to get a long life out of it when I wear it like this. And so I just have to talk myself off the ledge, have fun with the wigs that I own. Maybe if, go style a couple of other wigs. And instead of the 2 hours you would have spent on YouTube watching reviews or surfing through the, clearance bins in the various online retailers to see if you can find a good deal, take that 2 hours and play with your wigs. Practice. Do some styling that you maybe have never done before. Grab that thinning razor that you bought because I told you to buy it in one of my videos and practice using it. you've got the time. You're going to repurpose the time that you used to spend feeding that addiction to taking care of what you already own. So that is my last tip. And I hope that this helped you guys. I never know, you know, when I'm doing these videos and I'm watching the time, I'm at 29 minutes and 5 seconds right now, not including my introduction, which was just like, what, 2 minutes? I just think, gosh, did I ramble too much? Did I hit the mark? Is this going to help anybody at all? And I just have to pray that I said something that somebody needed to hear. And at the end of the day, I am with you guys and we're in this together. And I just love my Wig sisters. And I'm speaking about something I intimately understand and have experience with. So you're not alone. And I'm sure there are going to be comments in the comments below of other sisters who, again, have been there or are there, or maybe they have some other great suggestions. So we're going to do this together. We're building this community to help lift each other up. And a video like this is going to lift you up. It's not going to condemn you. It's not going to drag you down or point out something that's a flaw about you. We're going to be in sisterhood over this, and you are going to get through this because you are not alone. Okay? Please trust me on this one, and let me know if I can do anything for you, if I can pray for you, if, I don't know, just if I can help in any way. I'll do whatever I can do, and I'm so glad that you're here because the first step is just, you know, getting the information, right? All right, everyone, I'm going to let you go. I love you all. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. I hope you're doing okay around the holidays. I'm going to share one last thing with you. This is going to be for my Christian sisters. I know all of you aren't Christian, but I am not going to do a separate video on this one. I'm just going to share it here. So if you're still here, I wanted to share some encouragement. So I got to flip over to an email that I got earlier. If I can find it here. Please tell me I can find it. Okay, so I posted something on my community page, sort of a little political, little meme, and I had someone respond to me about it, and she encouraged me that she just feels so blessed when I share my faith or things like that, because it just helps her to know she's not alone, because we think alike on some of these things. And I told her in that post how much her words meant to me today, because I am suffering and struggling so much right now. I don't know if I have a low level of depression or what's going on, but I am struggling to find joy in day-to-day life right now. I am not finding joy with wigs. I'm struggling to do reviews. I'm struggling to do videos. My soul feels like it's in a deep, dark place right now. And one of our Wig sisters read that, and she sent me an email, and I didn't ask her permission to share it, so I'm not going to share her name, but I will share what she said to me, because, friends, if you are struggling like I am, this was God ordained. I just believe God put this on her heart to say this to me today. And so I just have a feeling others are feeling the same. I don't know how you cannot be struggling a little bit with what's going on in the world around us. Honestly, if you're a Christian and you believe in Jesus as your Savior, and you see the evil in this world that is just amping up so much, it is hard to deal with it every day. So what she said to me was, first of all, she said, I saw the post about your first meme and the comments to go along with, and she quoted my comments. I am struggling so much right now. I have lost the joy. I am struggling with unrest in my soul. And I just posted that today. And she shared that she and her friend went to a day retreat about a few months ago. It was supposed to be a silent retreat, but they bent the rules and were chatting during the day, and she was so glad that they did that, because she has been struggling so much to even pray lately. She said, I pick up my rosary and nothing comes. I thought there was something seriously wrong, but when I mentioned it to my friend that day, she said she's going through the exact same thing. It's as if we're blank and empty. And there's so much evil in the world right now. Satan seems to have us right where he wants us. She said she isn't sure if they solved anything that day. They didn't really figure out how to get around it or, what to do, but they knew they weren't alone. And I think that is so key. It's why I do videos like this. It's why I will just do wig chats and share something that's on my heart. I'm not solving any world problem. I'm not, creating, I'm not fixing anything that's broken. But for some of us, just knowing that we're not alone really is all that we need to put one foot in front of the other tomorrow. Knowing that we're not alone, knowing others see what we see, think what we think, believe what we believe. It does make a huge difference. So her email to me was amazing. And then she closed it out and said, don't give up. That's what Satan wants us to do. Whether we have to just wait it out or read the Bible or ... I'm not sure how to fix it, but maybe pray to the Holy Spirit to help get through it. He knows how to pray even when we don't. So I'm going to leave that for my Christian sisters out there as an encouragement. If you're struggling with something, I just am going to trust God put that on her heart and then on mine to share with you at the end of this video, which is all about helping each other. So I love you guys. If you aren't a Christian and you still stuck around to hear this, I am so grateful that you did. And I just want you to know that I pray for all of my sisters, whether they're believers or not. And I just pray that you will find the peace that you're seeking. I think you'll find it in Jesus, but that's between you and God. I'm just here to give you encouragement. So I love you guys. And that's really it. I'll talk to you soon.